All right, testing, testing, testing. All right, testing, test. Okay, we are live. We are live. So if oh god, look at that, we've got a bloody parallax echo effect thing going on here. If you are watching this, and I am putting it on the channel, I will put down in the description box there where you need to skip forward to actually get to sort of the real start of the broadcast. This is the very first live stream broadcast I've done, and yeah, it's all very new to me, still getting used to sorting it out, all that kind of stuff. You know what, I think I will get rid of that bloody box there, actually. Why don't I just shove it down there in the corner, actually. Get that out of the way. Make this a bit bigger. Okay, so we're just going to wait for some people to come in. Oh, Kiwi Life of Davo, you are here. Nice to see you. I'm just literally configuring it, everything, because it's all new, it's all different. I haven't posted on Twitter yet. Let's see if we can do that. I'm going to be tweaking and all that kind of stuff as I go along here. And I haven't even posted to Twitter yet. Better do that. Live on YouTube. Tweet. Yeah, so I've got a few topics to conversate today, and God, I wish that bloody thing would be a wee bit brighter. The micro, not microphone, the cam here. Let me see if I can just increase the brightness here a wee bit. Jeez, it's so dark. It's a little bit better. Okay, yeah, so got a few topics to cover, and we're going to be talking about China. We're going to be talking about rap music and tattoos in China, and going to be talking about next trip to China and the disputed regions in China, and traveling in New Zealand, and yeah, pretty much any other topic you want to talk about. But it's going to depend too on like how many people arrive here, how many people come into the stream. You're the first one here, which is cool. So it says 2 people watching right now. That's actually me and you, Dave. So why don't you tell me what's on your mind, and go ahead, ask a question, whatever, because nobody else is here yet. I think November Fox will come. I think Kaliri Fun Times will come. Don't really know for sure how many are coming. Can you hear me okay? Is the audio alright? I think it should be fine. I had Burger King for lunch. Great, that's fantastic. The audio is fine. Oh, Backpacker Guide! Holy crap, Backpacker Guide is here! Am I talking to Robin or Laura? So, Kiwi Life of Davo, I don't know if you have checked out backpackerguide.nz, but they are Robin and Laura. I believe Robin is from France. I believe Laura is from England. I assume that to be the case. They have done a 365-day gap year, massive road trip, travel around New Zealand, mostly in a camper van, from what it appears in the videos. And yeah, I've been wanting to ask you guys, where the hell are you now? Because I'm guessing, I'm just assuming that you are actually back in the UK and you're just like going through the editing process. Would that be the right assumption? And that you're actually not in New Zealand right now? Just having a look on Twitter, see what's oh, November Fox is coming. He will be here shortly. Cool. You're based in New Zealand. Cool. Well, in case it wasn't obvious, we're based in New Zealand. Does that mean you're still based in Does that mean you're living here? Are you on a working visa, or is it working holiday visa? And if so, where are you now? See, I live in Christchurch, and as you may have gathered from my most recent travel videos, just did a big road trip down the South Island. We started in Christchurch, we went down to Dunedin, Owaka, through the Catlins, to, what was the next one, Bluff, then over to Stewart Island, and greetings November Fox. Franco! Stay off the Sergeant Major's grass! And yeah, coming back from Stewart Island to Tianao, then we went down the Milford Road to Milford Sound, then back to Milford Sound from to Tianao, then 2 nights in Queenstown, then we went to Omarama, then Oamaru and home. God, we got so much stuff done, but I didn't get a lot of the stuff done that I wanted to get done. Like I didn't get done getting up through Tekapo again. Yeah, but it was bloody good. So you both arrived on a working holiday visa, but are now a resident here on the North Island. Holy shit! You're both residents! Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Well, Kiwi Life of Davo, you may very well want to ask backpackerguy.nz. That is Robin and Laura. Who am I speaking to right now? Is it Robin or is it Laura? Where do they live? Davo currently lives in Auckland. He lives with his parents right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, Davo. And he lives out of a camper van. No. You got a camper van, but you still live at home. I think that's right. And he wants to do a road trip, and he wants to eventually move down to the South Island. And I don't know where that'll be. That's up to Dave. You know, could be anywhere really. But yeah, wow. I mean, like, I'm planning on doing a North Island road trip at some point, probably the end of this year. If I keep looking sideways like this, it's because I've got 2 monitors here. So I hope it's not too distracting. And actually, I should probably swap it all over, just because it's. Oh no, this is probably the right situation here. This is the first time in a long time that I've actually done a live stream on a computer, because I've done gameplay live streams on the PlayStation 4, and yeah, I mean, at least with the PlayStation 4, you're basically just looking at the screen on the TV set, and you're not kind of going back and forth between 2 screens. So, if that's distracting, I apologise, but I'm new to this. Anyway, so I'm planning on doing a North Island road trip sometime at the end of this year. Sometime towards the end of 2018, but there's other travel that's going to be happening before then, which I'll be covering. And we'll watch the replay. We've just been called to some crazy nonsense. Okay, well, I'll see you later. I hope you were able to catch up, and we'll possibly come back. We'll see you later. Robin and Laura, I don't know which one it was. Wow, I'm amazed. Backpackerguy.nz, so cool. Yeah, so this road trip, we know where we're talking about here, but I'm going to have to kind of illustrate it for Nathan. You're aware that New Zealand has a North Island and a South Island, and actually this is where old Mr. Google Maps is going to come in really helpful, and I'm going to be able to just kind of make that nice and small, make that kind of big, and go back to Google Maps. Right. We have Google Maps here. I hope this is coming through on the screen okay. I'm going to have to kind of alternate back and forth between different stuff here. Okay. Zoom out. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay, so I hope you can follow the cursor on the screen here. So where I'm showing you right now, that's Christchurch, that little flashing city there in the centre of the South Island. Where we went, where I went over Christmas time, was I went down the east coast to the South Island. If you just follow the arrow down through Dunedin, down through the Catlins, so that awesome drone video that was way down the corner there. Then over to Invercargill Bluff, down to Stewart Island. Stewart Island is the little wee island down the very bottom of the South Island. Back up and then across to Tianao. I'll zoom in on Tianao. There is Tianao there. Up to Milford Sound. Milford Sound is there. And then back up, and then up to Queenstown for 2 nights. That was where I did the old luge video and the Ferg Burger video. Greetings November Fox here with a food review. This is how you get a Ferg Burger without waiting. Then back over. Now I was originally going to go up to, you'll see Twizel, Tekapo. I was originally going to go up to Tekapo. That didn't happen. We went across, where was it? Up to Omarama, and then across to Oamaru, and then there is Duntroon. So Duntroon is the little town with the fossils and the rocks, and I did the video on how to the problems you'll encounter when vlogging. So along to Oamaru and then back up home to Christchurch. So that's where I live, Christchurch, the big city in the centre of the South Island of New Zealand. Let me quickly go back here. Nope, no new comments yet. Okay. Right. So the next road trip. Heading back up, Kaikoura, Blenheim. This takes about 5 hours drive, and Nelson up here. I hope you're following along okay, Nathan. This is like Geography 101 for New Zealand, specifically for you. Up here to Kaikoura, Blenheim, you've got to get to this little town here called Picton to go on the ferry to get across to Wellington. This is how you get to the North Island of New Zealand. My sister lives in this town over here, Nelson. Actually, my sister and my father. And Easter this year, which is the end of March, beginning of April, I'm going to be in Nelson for a few nights, I'm not quite sure, and we may head over to Wellington for a day trip. Anyway, the road trip that I want to do at the end of this year, it'll be like November this year. November Fox! It'll be November this year. It'll be going from November across on the... It'll be going from Picton across on the ferry to Wellington. Now bear in mind, this takes a whole day just to get from Christchurch up to Picton. Well, it takes about 5 to 6 hours driving. And then the ferry, I think, is 3 hours. Davo, you may be able to correct me if I'm wrong on that. Is the ferry currently 3 hours to go from Picton to Wellington? So you go from Wellington. Now North Island is actually pretty big, like the South Island. I mean, they're both big islands. I mean, I say that being that, when you zoom out and you compare it to the size of the United States, it doesn't look big, but it actually is. It's deceptively large, the travel times involved. So if you want to go all the way from Wellington up to Auckland here, Auckland's the biggest city. Wellington is the capital, but Auckland is the biggest city. That takes, I don't know, 10 hours or something. It's a long drive. You can't really do that in one day. We will probably go from Wellington up through Palmerston North, up through the centre here. This is Tongariro National Park. This is a big volcano here. Along this road up here, north of Wairau military area. And this is called the Desert Road, and this is a beautiful road, and this is a beautiful national park. It's a big volcanic plateau, great big volcano. And then up here to Lake Taupo. I don't know whether this would be 1 day or 2 days worth here, but I'd like to go up to Taupo and then go to Rotorua. And so up from Taupo you've got Rotorua here. And then up from Rotorua you have this little place called Matamata. Now, let me just quickly check comments. Calivary Fun Times! Okay, welcome. I'm in the middle of giving a geography lesson, mainly to November Fox, but you can listen in too. I'm just currently in the middle of explaining the North Island road trip that I hope to do at the end of the year. So just backtracking a wee bit, we'll be going from Wellington up to Taupo, centre of the North Island there, then up to Rotorua. And this is getting deceptively close to where Kiwi Life of Davo lives, because he lives in Auckland, but I don't think we're going to have time to get up there, because I've already kind of planned this out, loosely planned this out, in terms of the number of days required, and we want to get it done in sort of 10 days-ish, and going up to Auckland would add quite a bit more time on. Anyway, so Rotorua, up from Rotorua is Matamata, and Matamata is Hobbiton. You've probably heard of Hobbiton because you've probably seen Lord of the Rings at some point, in the first Lord of the Rings movie, The Fellowship of the Ring. That is Matamata. That is where Hobbiton is, the actual movie set that they preserved, and they turned it into a tourist attraction. That is it there. That's Matamata. Now, a lot of tourists, particularly American tourists, they do this North Island loop. Okay, they come to Auckland and they go down to Hamilton, they go to Rotorua, maybe they come down to Taupo, they go over here to Matamata, and then back to Auckland. So they do this kind of loop around the top half of the North Island, and then they go home. And it's like, I have done New Zealand. No, you didn't. You did a little bit of New Zealand. You didn't do any of the South. And there's a metric fuck ton of stuff to see in New Zealand. And in case that wasn't evident, just look at how many videos I have made on road tripping around New Zealand. So there is Matamata. Is the volcano active? We got two VIDME people here now. November Fox and Calibri Fun Times. This is like the VIDME reunion, guys, isn't it? Isn't this so cool? And Calibri, can I please ask you, what is your real name, your first name? Because I feel weird calling you Calibri, because that's the name of a font. Can you please tell me your real name? That would be great. So, making it up to Matamata and, Rotorua, and there's lots of cool stuff to do in Rotorua, because Rotorua is like a volcanic area. There's lots of hot pools and mud pools, and basically the crust of the earth is thin there, so you have volcanic activity. Over here, and then basically you got to go back. I mean, you're either going to go up to Auckland or you're going to sort of start heading back. The thing is, if you get up to Auckland, there's a whole another region to see up here. There's Auckland, Whangarei, Cape Reinga, 90 Mile Beach up the top here. That's, quite a few days of road tripping and travelling and stuff here. Backpacker Guide NZ, they'll tell you all about that. How many days and days it takes to see all the things there is to see. So the most likely situation is from Rotorua, we would be heading back, probably through here, through Taumarunui, somewhere around through here. I've never been through this region before. Around New Plymouth, Mount Taranaki, also known as Mount Egmont, and then back down along this coast here, Whanganui, Palmerston North, Wellington, back over to Picton, Nelson, and then back down home here to Christchurch. Okay, so while I've got Google Maps open, let's see, Anthrit! Welcome, Anthrit! We're going to be streaming for probably about between 30 and 60 minutes. This is just essentially going to be travel chat, and I will take questions. So if you have any questions about anything, just pop them in the chat at any point. Don't feel like you're interrupting. Callie. Okay, Callie. I'm assuming that's your real name. I asked you your real name. I assume that it's Callie. Okay, Callie. You need a few months for New Zealand. Yeah, so if you have any questions, just stick them in the chat. Don't feel like you're interrupting or anything. Just stick them in the chat, and I will jump back and forward, and I will answer any questions. So a little bit of a geography lesson on New Zealand. Now, while I have Google Maps open, are there any questions about geography in New Zealand? Because I've just run through what the plan is for November this year. It's a North Island road trip which will take me through the sort of the middle, the centre of the North Island, and then back again. It would be nice to just drive around the entire North Island, but it just takes too friggin' long, you know. And if you're going to squash a road trip into like 2 weeks, it's too long. Probably what will happen in the future, and this is like fast forwarding to 2019. Probably I will fly to Auckland. Zoom in again. I will probably fly to Auckland and rent a car. I don't know when this would be, whether it would be Easter or when this would be. Probably fly to Auckland, rent a car, and head up to Whangarei and up here to Cape Reinga and just see everything. This would take, I don't know, 3-4 days, 5 days, I don't know how long, just to see everything up in this region up here. So that's probably fast forwarding to 2019. And then there's this kind of area over here which I don't know a hell of a lot about, the Urumqi Ranges. Davo will know the name Tama Iti. He's a local Maori activist, and his tribe of Maori, the Tuhoi, come from the Te Urumqi Ranges up here. I don't think there's a hell of a lot to see up here. It's definitely Maori country though. Oh goodness, Wairoa. This little town here, Wairoa, that's where the mongrel mob come from. Mongrel mob are the most prolific gang in New Zealand. And that's going to kind of lead us into our next little topic of conversation. The volcano you mentioned, is it still active? Yeah. Sorry, I might have missed that question before, did I? I don't think it is. I can probably just do a quick check on that. Tongariro, Mount Tongariro. Let's see, what do we got here? Mount Tongariro, compound volcano, Taupo volcanic zone. Let's see, wait a minute. Okay, so I would say yes, it's active, because it says the last eruption was 21st of November 2012. See, anytime I say the word November, it's going to be like you, Mr. Franco. Yeah, so it's active. And how is the transit system there? Is it like Japan? Oh, whoa. Wow, that's a bit of a loaded question, isn't it? The transit system. Oh god, that's so freaking dark. Why does it end up so dark like that? I'm just going to see if I can... I think it might be the light coming through the curtains here. This might be better if I do that. We'll just see how that works out. Maybe that'll just screw it up and make it even worse. God, look how friggin' dark it is. No, I think that made it worse. Alright. Turn the lights on. Okay, so I'm happy you decided to stream. What prompted your decision to do a live stream? Actually, it's basically because, and I will get to the transit question in a moment. It's just a Sunday afternoon. Well, no, it's not a Sunday afternoon. It's a Monday afternoon for me. See, my job, I work 37 and a half hours a week, but I don't always work 5 days a week. I'll work a 6-day week, and then another 6-day week, and then I'll do a 4-day week and a 4-day week. So the way my weekends work out is that I have I'll have Saturday, Sunday off, then I will have Friday, Saturday off, then I'll have Saturday, Sunday off again, then I'll have like Sunday, Monday. I think that's the way it works. So every second weekend I end up with like the staggered weekend, the staggered thing where it's like 1 day forward or 1 day back, and that's because in my job we have to have staff working during the weekends. We can't all just rest in the weekends, because people still break the law on the weekends. And in case you guys didn't know already, I am a parking warden. I walk the streets, I put tickets on cars, I tow cars away from people's driveways, all kinds of fun stuff for people that don't park their cars properly. Say hi to Andrea Franco for me. What the hell? Mr. Hang Glider Man. Shit, wait, this isn't Pornhub, this is YouTube. Fuck. What the hell is that? I think that's a comment that's that I had to approve. That's weird. Transit system in New Zealand, we don't really have a decent transit system. We don't have like, it's because of the population, you know, we've got like 4 million people. We don't have like big trains and stuff. Honestly, you're going to be impressed. When I go to China again in May, you're going to be impressed with the transit system in China. They honestly have the best public transit system in the world. I say that without being a big traveller that's sort of gone everywhere, but it's pretty damn good. It's pretty freaking good. Communist government, not so good with things like democracy and social issues, but in terms of engineering, fan-fucking-tastic. You cannot beat a communist government if you want engineering projects. If you want to build a rail system, you want to build a subway, you hand it off to a communist government and they will get it fucking done. So pluses and minuses of a communist government. But New Zealand, we just have buses. There's a few trains, a few light rail trains in some of the big cities, like I think Auckland's got a light rail. We don't have light rail in Christchurch. I'm not sure if there's trams in Wellington. Davo may correct me on that. But yeah, basically you've got to get around with buses. A lot of tourists that come here, they self-drive. They just hire a camper van. And oh shit, what's the other things? Yeah, self-driving, buses, camper van. And yeah, and buses, like if you miss the bus, there ain't no second bus. So if you're taking a bus from one city to the other, you better get the right friggin' bus. The ironic bit is November is my name, it's nothing to do with the month. I know that. That is the maritime alphabet / military alphabet. Lots of people use that. Calibri also does a 6-day work week. Yeah. Oh, wait, she's right here. Andrea Franco! She's there. Okay, so the next thing I was going to move on to, and you guys are probably not really aware of this, but there is a recent change in Chinese culture that well, it's not really Chinese culture, it's what the Chinese government recently did is they... let me see if I can just find a picture here. They recently banned tattoos and hip-hop. And I'll play some of this YouTube video here for you. I hope it comes through okay. I don't know. You're not really going to need to worry about hearing the music and understanding the lyrics. As long as you can read the subtitles okay. And I won't play all the song. I'll play it for like a minute. It's a very racist song, and basically what happened is that this rapper named Fat Shady, that's like a copy of Slim Shady, Eminem, made this song, I don't know, 6 months ago, and there was another song by another Chinese rapper called Christmas Eve. The Christmas Eve song was all about, it's very much like American gangster rap, it's all about drugs and alcohol and you know, and like treating women like pieces of meat, this kind of culture. And Fat Shady's video, Fuck Off Foreigners, otherwise known as Gua Laowai, Laowai means foreigner, it's basically a racist song saying that we don't like foreigners in China. And it was a huge embarrassment to the Chinese government, because the Chinese government, you know, being a communist government and all that, they're all sort of hung up on the image they want to portray to people. It's called face. You know, they want to have good face and show good face. And you know they want to present a good image to the world, and they also want to aspire to be that way. So, and of course, the way they aspire to be that way, being a communist government, is they just ban things and they just put restrictions on things. You know, the Great Firewall of China, all that kind of stuff. And I'll play this video for you in a moment. Just catching up here with the comments. Japan, America felt in the past the government is more interested in doing things in development. American transit is functional. American transit is functional. Just functional. I bet it's not functional underneath all that bloody snow you guys are getting, especially up there in the Great Lakes area, covered in snow. It's weird, you know, the whole climate change thing, because, you know, up there you guys are getting freezing cold, and it's like down here it's a heat wave, absolute heat wave. We have the subway in Boston. Oh yeah, that's right, you live in Boston. We call it the T and it works. The slightest thing to throw it into chaos. The rain. Yeah. Alright. Fuck off foreigners, Gua Laowai. I'm not sure how well the audio is going to work. We'll just see how we go with that. Even if you can't hear it, you'll be able to see the subtitles here. And suddenly, my mouse is like non-responsive. Let's try and get the volume up here.
Gua Laowai, Gua Laowai, how to Gua Laowai, Gua Laowai, Gua Laowai, how to.
It's actually quite a catchy tune. I actually quite like it. So this guy here, Fat Shady, he's like real short. He's like 4 foot 11 and it's a real try-hard kind of thing. Like most rap videos, you know, he's kind of surrounding himself with all the homies kind of thing, and he's got the dog there with like the muzzle on his face and stuff. But you look at some of these lyrics, it's just absolute, utter, blatant, you know, racism, really. Today you're an English teacher, tomorrow you're a young entrepreneur. What are you going to be tomorrow? Want to be something? Come watch Daddy's car. I'll give you that red money, 100 by 100. Finish the car, nothing to do. Come over and clean Daddy's Timberland boots. Stupid foreigners, so many stupid foreigners. Alright, you guys get the idea. It's actually a catchy tune. I mean, if you like rap music, which I do, it's a catchy tune. But like, it's just an utter embarrassment for, you know, for the Chinese government, just to have all of that kind of crap coming out, and, you know, just really damage the face of China. You know, the image of China, because, you know, image is very important in China. Now, along with the rap music is the tattoo culture. Now, this is not really a new thing, but China and Japan are both the same on this page. I'm pretty sure Korea is the same as well. You know, historically in China, tattoos mean that you are in a gang. That's what they mean. Of course, if you're a foreigner and you got a tattoo, you know, most people are smart enough to accept that that's a wee bit different. You know, other cultures have different interpretations on tattoos, and New Zealand is actually, we're a very heavily tattooed group of people. I mean, there's like, on average, I think it's 2 tattoos for every person, if you quantify all of the tattoos. So, yeah, China recently basically banned hip-hop and rap music and tattoos from being on TV. And, yeah, it's all really just to do with, you know, their face, anyway. What did you guys think of that video? I'm not going to play the other video for you. I'm not going to play the next one, which is the Christmas Eve one, just because the next one doesn't have subtitles or anything. But that is China banning the rap music culture and stuff, and tattoos, because rap music and tattoos, they go together. It's getting hot in here. I'm just going to open the door. My wife is from Japan. They hate Chinese but idolize the Koreans. Yeah, well, there's a bit of history there, isn't there? So, to give some context to that, Chinese and Japanese and Koreans, they have an unusual kind of relationship between them, because the Japanese in World War II, they had that mentality of, you know, we are better than the rest of the world and this kind of thing. You know, we are the superior race, a bit like Hitler and the Jews and the Aryan race and all that kind of stuff. And the Japanese were like that with the Chinese. Now, the Japanese would kidnap the Koreans and kidnap the Chinese during World War II and put them into prison camps and do experiments on them. Absolutely horrific stuff, you know. I don't even want to really talk about it. It's horrible stuff. And they made a movie about it called Men Behind the Sun. So if you wanted to see a war movie about war crimes done by the Japanese, Men Behind the Sun, that is the movie. So the Chinese and the Koreans hate the Japanese. Well, they don't hate the Japanese, they resent the Japanese for what the Japanese did historically. And a lot of Chinese people... See, what happens in Japan too is that a lot of the young Japanese people, they don't get taught about the sordid history of Japan. They kind of like sweep it under the rug. So like the young people in Japan don't always kind of acknowledge that it happened, which is a wee bit different from German people. Hey, Godly Green YouTube, welcome to the stream. Just talking about China, Japan, and Korea at the moment. They're kind of resentful of that. The Chinese are kind of resentful of the Japanese, and like with North Korea as well, that sentiment has not gone away, and they still like hate the Americans. Like the North Koreans, they basically hate the South Koreans. This is what they're taught by the government. I'm sure this is not the case with the real people, but they're taught by the government, if you're North Korean, hate the South Koreans, hate the Americans, and hate the Japanese. Those are your three enemies. So, before I start talking about the next topic, so the next topic is about where I'm going to in China, which is going to happen in May this year. Are there any questions about any of the videos, about anything in particular? Now is the best opportunity you have to interrupt, because I'll be rambling now about China for the next few minutes. So now is your chance to interrupt with any questions. Just going to get a drink of water. And actually, before I start rambling about China, I think we should have a little discussion about VIDME as well too, since we have VIDME people here, because I believe that Calibri is from VIDME, I'm from VIDME, November Fox is from VIDME, and I'm pretty sure Anthrit is from VIDME too. Here in America, I have seen the same issues. Family members who were in World War II and Japanese comes hate me for who I married. Yeah. I mean, it'll get better over time. People will eventually forgive and forget, and eventually it'll just become ancient history, but it's still fresh in the minds of people, because you have like grandfathers and great-grandfathers who were in World War II, and that whole kind of racism thing keeps on going. When I was in South Korea, I started to notice that a lot of their maps, the Sea of Japan was labelled East Sea. I'm not surprised. I hate to do this, but I'm going to retire. Well, thanks for stopping by, Callie. It's Sunday night here. Yeah, I'm aware of that, and that's why I actually started the stream now, because it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me, so I know that it's not quite midnight for you guys. It's probably late for you guys in America, but probably not too late. But Callie's got to go, so thanks for stopping by. Maybe see you on another time. I don't know whether this video is going to go up on the channel or not. Probably not. Just because I'm not going to go on forever. I'm only going to go for like maximum of another half an hour. But thanks for stopping by, Callie. My guess is they don't like the idea of a body of water attraction called the Sea of Japan. Yeah, I'm trying to think of another example of that. There is those islands that are kind of located in the middle of like China, Japan, and Taiwan. Japan calls them the Senkaku Islands. I think Chinese call them the Daimyo Islands, or honestly can't. I'll probably get the name wrong. Can't remember. But they all want to claim these islands because there's oil underneath them, and they want to drill for it. International politics. So, bugger, Kelly's leaving. You know, I wanted to have a wee bit of a chat about VIDME. So, Godly Green YouTube, were you on VIDME? Because I'm pretty sure the rest of us were on VIDME. I don't think Davo was on VIDME. Davo wanted to get on VIDME. And where is Davo? Has he disappeared? Did he say that he was leaving? Yeah, because Davo hasn't said anything in the comments. Also for VIDME, but be right back, need to take the dog out. Okay, cool, take the dog out. Well, I may be finished streaming by the time you get back, because I'm not going to stream for that long. If that's the case, thanks for stopping by. But, yeah, VIDME. So apparently VIDME couldn't find its way to profitability. So, how do you put it? I think those were the words of Ryan Duffy, like the founder of VIDME, because, you know, when they closed it all down, it was basically like, you know, you just couldn't quite. I think it was about not bringing enough revenue from the advertising dollars and that kind of thing. Because ultimately that was what was going to have to happen, you know, in order to cover the overheads. Because I mean, hosting videos and stuff. I think the lesson we can learn from VIDME, 7:25 in the morning, where you are, See ya, Callie. 7:25. I thought in sort of California, Nevada. I thought it was like in the evening right now. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was the evening for you. Anyway, yeah, so I think the lesson that can be learned from VIDME is that I don't think that there's going to be a competitor to YouTube anytime soon, and that YouTube, in all of its flaws, we're just going to have to suck it up and use it, and we're kind of stuck with it. Because supposedly, I mean, if you believe what everybody says, or if you believe what YouTube tells you, they run YouTube at a loss. You know, Google runs YouTube at a loss, only because it's Google, because Google is gargantuan, and they still, after all these years, have not been able to make YouTube profitable, and it's, you know, it's losing money every single year, but they can run it at a loss. You know, it's a loss leader product. 1925. Right, it's 1925. Okay, I got the time wrong there. Military time, 1925, 1900 hours. So I'm guessing that what that reminds me too. November Fox is ending his military army videos by saying, "Stay off Sergeant Major's grass." So I have to wonder, is that leading somewhere? Is there going to be a story where you were on the Sergeant Major's grass? Because like when I was in high school, they had an area called the Sacred Lawn. This is something I mentioned in an old video I did. It was called My Old School Easter, where I went back to my old high school in Easter last year. And when I was at this high school, they had an area called the Sacred Lawn, and the Sacred Lawn was sort of next to it was like between the staff room and the school hall, and it was called the Sacred Lawn, and you were told you were not allowed to step foot on the Sacred Lawn. Banned from setting foot on the Sacred Lawn. And then they, you know, and there was stories kind of went around like, oh, the old principal was buried there that was at the school 100 years ago. And then you know, eventually you realise, either when you get to the end of high school and you get old enough and you figure it out, or later in life you figure it out, that it's a bunch of bullshit, and all it really is the Sacred Lawn is the lawn right in front of where the tea room is for the teachers, and so the teachers want to be able to sit down there in the tea room, look out on the grass, and not have snot-nosed kids looking in on them. So it wasn't a case of stay off Sergeant Major's grass, it was stay off of the sacred lawn. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, well, it's a military joke that everyone says Sergeant Majors are bitter old NCOs that get angriest at the stupidest thing. For instance, walking on the grass of the battalion HQ building. So what's your rank right now? I'm guessing you're not a private anymore. Are you a sergeant? If you're not a sergeant, are you a lieutenant? And is that how it goes? You go sergeant, then lieutenant? Because I believe you have like officers and then I think it's non-commissioned officers. And I think the officers are the ones that go through like you need the book smarts to be them. But the non-commissioned officers are like people who start as privates and they go through and they get their promotion through, field training, and combat experience and stuff. I think that's how it works. Just from watching Band of Brothers. You'll have to fill me in if I've gotten that wrong. Hot as shit in Auckland today. How's the heat down there? It is hot as shit down here too. It seems to be the way these days, isn't it? Like, I'm not a lieutenant, I work for a living. Yeah. It is hot as shit down here and it's getting hotter. I mean, it's probably 25 degrees and it's getting hotter than that. And, God, yeah, it seems to be the way, isn't it? That with the whole climate change thing going every single year, when there's a winter in the United States, it just gets colder and colder and colder and bitterly cold, and there's snow everywhere, and they shut down the train lines and everything. And then down here in New Zealand, it's just, this is the hottest summer that I can remember in my whole life. And next week it's going to get even hotter. It's going to be between, it's supposed to get up to like 35, 40 degrees Celsius this next week. And for you Americans that don't speak Celsius, imagine middle of the Australian desert. It's going to be that hot here next week. Imagine what it's like in the middle of the Australian desert, freaking hot desert environment. That's what it's going to be like here next week. You can't spell lost without the LT. Now, okay, so Army ain't ready to be a Marine yet. Have you heard that one? Poor. Yeah, they've all got, all the military branches have got derogatory terms for each other. At least that's how I understand it. And military, they love abbreviations. Okay, so let's bring back Google Maps, because I want to tell you about where I'm going in May and where I've been previously. Let me just adjust this bloody screen again. Here we go. Make that smaller and bring back Mr. Google Maps. We're going to have a look at China, and because I love looking at maps. Maybe I'm weird. I love looking at maps, and because maps give me a visual idea of what's out there in the world and where I've been and where I can still go, where there is opportunity to see things and do things. And most of the barriers to seeing and doing things is, time and money. Yeah. Okay, so Hua. Yeah. So we are going to go from Christchurch, and actually I'll just make this map a wee bit bigger. Take up the whole screen more like that. Okay, so we're going to fly from Christchurch. First stop is Brisbane, Australia. So this is going to be May the 8th, I think. May 8th through to May the 10th. I have been to Sydney before. I went there in 2015, and we went, I went to the WWE wrestling show. that was my whole reason for going there, and I squashed in everything that you could possibly do in downtown city centre of Sydney into 5 days. So I stayed in a little place called the Maze Backpackers right here in the middle of the Sydney CBD. Right here you got a little place called Circular Quay, and all of these lines here, they are actually routes that the ferries do. And so I went over here to Taronga Zoo, took the ferry over to Taronga Zoo. That was one thing that I saw. Another thing was Manly. Where the hell is Manly? There it is. Manly's way up here. Up there. Manly Sea Life Sanctuary. That was an aquarium. So all of these places I'm showing you now in Sydney, these all have YouTube videos attached to them on my channel. Went to all of them. Now down here in Circular Quay, that's where Sydney Opera House is. I'm sure you've all heard of the Sydney Opera House before. Here, wait a minute, I've lost it. Trying to find the Sydney Eye. I'm sure I'll find it eventually. Sydney Tower Eye. Okay, so every city, every major city in the world has its own big tower. In Auckland it's called the Sky Tower. In Sydney it's called the Sydney Tower Eye. So I went there. Went over here to the... oh, it's not even showing up on the map. There it is. Australian National Maritime Museum. Nathan would like that. That was pretty cool. Waterfront, naval history and seafaring hub. Lots of cool stuff in there, like submarines and boats and all kinds of stuff. By the way, you guys, if you can hear too much traffic noise from outside, I'll shut the door. That'll mean that it'll just get hot for me, but I'll shut the door if there's lots of... because I live next to a main road out here. Wildlife Sydney Zoo, went to that. Sea Life Aquarium, went to that. Okay, so that's Sydney. I squashed in a metric fuck ton of stuff into Sydney. But we are not going to Sydney this time. I'm the same way, I browse maps all the time. Another map nerd. I love it. We are going to Brisbane. There is a hell of a lot to do in Brisbane, and we are going to have... we're not going to see even close to like all of it. So Brisbane Airport is there. Up the top here, about an hour's drive or an hour's train ride north, I think it's up here, just past Beerwah. There it is, Australia Zoo. Beerwah. I don't know if it's Beerwah as in beer that you drink. Australia Zoo. Now, in case you don't know what Australia Zoo is, you have definitely heard of it before, because Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, this is his zoo, or this was his zoo. Before he died, Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, this was his zoo. And I believe, as far as I know, that his wife Terry Irwin and his children, I think it's Robert and Bindi Irwin, still run that zoo. Of course, those kids are all grown up now, but there it is, that's Australia Zoo. Hoping to go to Australia Zoo on the first day that we arrive. And then we'll be staying in downtown Brisbane in our hotel. And then and the second day we're planning to go down to the Gold Coast. So Gold Coast, it's a little town, maybe an hour's drive south of Brisbane. We don't know whether we're going to take the train or going to drive, but there is a hell of a lot to do down in Gold Coast. And again, we only have 2 days, so I don't know, what we're going to get done. And how many viewers we got? We got 5 viewers now. Welcome to the other viewers that have come in. Talking about where to go on the Gold Coast. So coming down the Gold Coast, this is where all of the amusement parks are. Let me just find them. There we go. So there's Warner Brothers Movie World. They tend to sell all these as a package, so yeah, they want to sell you tickets to 2, 3, 4 attractions. Warner Brothers Movie World, Wet n Wild Gold Coast, and Dream World is here too, I think. Somewhere nearby. Australian Outback Spectacular. Maybe it's just down a wee bit. Not quite sure where it is. It's around there somewhere. So Warner Brothers Movie World, Wet n Wild Gold Coast, that's a water park. There's also Dream World, which is a just a it's like Disneyland, over here there's SeaWorld, one of the other things they sell you as part of the package. I have been to SeaWorld in Los Angeles, but there is a hell of a lot of stuff to do around here. Aquas, you just look at it and you can tell this is like the adventure town, activity town of Australia. I mean, goodness, there's so many things here. SeaWorld, jetpack and flyboard adventures, and as you zoom in, you just see more and more of these things pop up. There's just lots of cool stuff to do here, but I'm not going to get bogged down in that. So we've got 2 days in Brisbane, and then it's off to China. So getting from Christchurch to Brisbane, that's about a 3.5 hour flight, I think, and then it's going to be into China. So across, up to Hong Kong, and into Shenzhen. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard of Hong Kong before. Hong Kong and Macau are two of the special administrative regions of China. One country, two systems. Basically, it means they have their own little special rules. I do have a YouTube video coming out where I don't necessarily talk about the special rules, but I talk about the disputed regions of China. So that's in a YouTube video that's coming up, and that's going to be stuff like the Hong Kong, Taiwan, Tibet, and Xinjiang. So this is where Coco's family live, Shenzhen. That's downtown Hong Kong there, so you take basically just a train, you get into Shenzhen, or you can just fly directly to Shenzhen. So we're flying directly to Shenzhen. Now, China is absolutely gargantuan, and there is so much to see. I could browse the map like this and just talk for hours and hours and hours, but I don't want to bore you guys to tears. And if you have any questions on China, feel free to butt in, ask any questions. I will answer every single question because there's not many of you guys watching. And I'm going to finish up the stream in about 15 minutes, so if you stay through to the end, that would be cool, because I don't like going on hours and hours and hours with these types of things. In the past, before I tell you where I'm going to now, I'll tell you where I've been in the past. I've been up to here, Dalian. It's not a tourist town. I went to Dalian because I was visiting a friend of mine, but look where Dalian is. It's about 350 kilometers away from the border to North Korea. That's how close I've been to North Korea. One day I'll go back there to, this is Liaoning province. One day I'll go back there and I'll stand on the border, as close as you can get. That'll be something to do one day. I mean, it would be nice to go to Pyongyang one day too, but I mean, if you do go on one of those tours to North Korea, you've got to join a tour group. You've got to basically follow all the rules, because they're only going to show you the stuff that they want you to see, because that government is like one of the most evil governments in the world, basically. They will show you only what they want you to see. They're going to show you a beautiful, positive image of North Korea, but the reality ain't that fucking way. We all know that. Mr. Fox will tell you that he gets questioned as to whether or not he went to North Korea or South Korea. Mr. Fox, how about you tell the other people in the comments there about that? I thought that was absolutely hilarious. He mentioned it in the video. So I've been to Dalian. I've been to Beijing, over here. Downtown Beijing, right in the centre. Of course, you've got, I'm not going to zoom all the way in, or maybe I will. Right in the very centre there, the Palace Museum. That's the Forbidden City. This is the old temple where the old emperor used to live, and all of the kind of buildings and stuff around that temple. They're all old-fashioned buildings from hundreds of years ago. Beijing. Dreadful, terrible air condition, awful. We went across to Xian, as soon as I can find Xian. It's in Shaanxi province. Where the hell is Xian? I'll find it eventually. Ah, there it is, Xian. Xian is the Terracotta Warriors. So if you've heard of the Terracotta Warriors, that is where you go if you want to see the Terracotta Warrior Museum. Been there, done that. In 2014, so that was 2012, in 2014 we went to Chengdu, this big city over here. And Chengdu is the home of the Panda Research Base. You can see this weird city. They have these kind of ring roads around the outside. I think it's kind of cool. I think more cities should do that, have ring roads. Chengdu is fairly close to Tibet, because this region over here, that's Tibet. Chengdu is fairly close to it. And okay, there are more places that I've been to. Like I've been down to this little city here, Guangzhou. It's just north of Shenzhen. We are going to go to Shenzhen this time, and we're going to go to Hong Kong, because I've only spent like 2 days in Hong Kong. I haven't really spent any real time there, but I want to spend like a couple of days here and just, you know, go do shopping and do a bit of a tour around Hong Kong. There's cool stuff to see, and like this area here, Mong Kok in Hong Kong, is awesome for shopping. Not so awesome for a big guy like me, because they ain't going to have my size. But I mean, if I wanted to buy like Reebok pumps, which I love, because I love Reebok pumps, like there's a Reebok shop in Mong Kok, and I want to have a look in Hong Kong. And that reminds me, when I just rewinding back to Australia, I'm probably going to get another one of those Australian Outback hats. You know, I wear them in just about every one of my videos. Gonna buy one of those in Brisbane. I've been to the border of South Korea. So I'm guessing you're talking about the DMZ, the demilitarized zone between South Korea and North Korea, I'm assuming. That's pretty cool. What is the most bizarre Chinese food you have eaten? Okay, I will answer that question with a video. And hopefully you'll get a kick out of this. Right. What does spider taste like? Beijing street food. Let's see if we... Ah, there we go. There's my video right there. Now hopefully that doesn't slow down to a crawl again. That would be nice if that doesn't slow down to a crawl. So this is in Beijing. It was only recorded in 480p.
Oh my god.
Put the volume down to it. So you're looking at tarantulas there, centipedes, snakes, different types of snakes, insects. Absolutely fucking disgusting trash. Cockroaches, hornets. I ate those scorpions. That was God, those scorpions. They basically tasted like gristle, like bacon, like overly cooked bacon. So this is me, dumb tourist, you know, spending like 100 RMB or something. I think that was 80. It was 80 RMB, which is about 20 bucks New Zealand, which is about 15 bucks US for a spider and a scorpion. There's me getting the scorpion. Yeah, just chewing away out on gristle. So it's a real toss-up between whether it's this one, eating the scorpion, or eating the spider.
I mean, I ate the tail. It's just very crusty. It's a bit hard to describe. It's a bit like eating the crackling on bacon, I guess. Very much the same. I mean, the whole scorpion is really like a big exoskeleton. So that's very tough. It requires a lot of doing.
Coco really didn't want it.
No. No.
It's not so bad.
Coco's behind the camera like this. Like,
Okay.
whoa!
I hope so.
When in Rome, it was the Romans.
When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
These are not Romans.
These are not Romans.
It's not so hard, idiot. It's a bit of trouble up.
Okay, that was Scorpion. This was one of the first videos I watched of yours back when I discovered your channel on VidMe. And then there's Spider. Now, Spider it's basically a tarantula, I think. And essentially, it tasted like McDonald's spicy chicken nuggets, pretty much. But I don't think it normally tastes that good. I think it's just the fact that it must be the seasoning or the salt and pepper or whatever the hell it is they put on there. There's the Spider. It's actually delicious. Honestly, it was so delicious. I mean, it doesn't look that way. And that guy to the side of me, he's a tourist from Hong Kong, and like he wanted to have to go too. So that snake was just rubbish.
Thank you. Oh no. No thanks. Oh no, you're very generous. Quay cái chậu á.
McDonald's spicy chicken. Alright, that answers that question. The weirdest thing. I'd eat it, not saying I would like it, but I would eat it. Yeah, I agree with her. Yeah, it's... okay, I'll explain what the deal is with that, because, like, Chinese people in the olden days, they... I mean, China today, people, especially the people in the big cities who are kind of on this coastal region, they do pretty well for themselves. You know, they've been lifted out of poverty, basically. You know, and some people are actually quite wealthy in these big cities. You know, like if you live in Shanghai, you've basically got to be wealthy, because living in Shanghai is like living in New York City. You know, a high cost of living. Let's see if I can adjust that camera a little bit. And where Coco's family live in Shenzhen is kind of one of the major financial centers in China, and I'm going to show you. I'll see if I can just find it. There is a little area in Shenzhen called Huaqiangbei, and Huaqiangbei is basically the how do you put it? It's the gadget district, the electronics district. When I say district, it's a series of city blocks where they just sell any cell phone you can imagine, any camera you can imagine, tablets, gimbals, just anything electronic gadgetry, they sell it. Just gotta try and find it. Where the hell is it? I think this is it here. There we go. Huaqiangbei Commercial Street. That's basically it there. It's not just one road. It's not just one road. It's actually, I think it's this whole area in this vicinity. So I'm hoping to go there, and it'll be like a couple of YouTube videos. That said, I know the shopkeepers there, and this is the shopkeepers are like this in China quite a lot. They're real anti you filming. They don't like you going in and filming. Main reason is that they don't see you as a YouTube vlogger. They see you as, when you're filming, they see you as somebody who is like going to compete with them, and you're going in there to record their prices and then try to beat them on price, or you're somebody who is going to catch them selling counterfeit goods, because as you guys probably know, counterfeiting is a major problem in China. Right, so let's move on to Xinjiang, and then we'll wrap up the stream and we will finish. Once again, If you have any questions about anything, feel free to butt in, because the stream will end as soon as I'm finished talking about Xinjiang, which will be 5 to 10 minutes from now. We will be flying to Urumqi. Okay, so Xinjiang. Let me see if I can get a good kind of thing here. Okay, there's Urumqi, the capital of Xinjiang province. And Urumqi is Xinjiang province. There's Mongolia there. Down here there is, which province is that? I think that's Tibet, and I think there's Gansu province there. I think that's Qinghai province. There's Kyrgyzstan. There's Kazakhstan. There's Russia. So it borders, Urumqi borders with a whole bunch of different countries: Mongolia, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Jammu and Kashmir. Now you'll notice that Jammu and Kashmir have these kind of dotted lines around them. That's because they are a disputed territory. Basically, one of the parking wardens I work with, he's actually from Kashmir, and the Kashmir people consider themselves independent, but the Pakistan government thinks that it owns Jammu and Kashmir, and the India government also think that they own Jammu and Kashmir. And this is, I think, one of the reasons why these two are kind of locked in this kind of mutually assured destruction kind of Cold War type of a thing. I think it's mainly about this disputed region here. Anyway, it borders on Xinjiang province. So as you can probably imagine, you can probably see where this is going. Xinjiang province borders on a whole bunch of other neighboring Muslim countries. Jammu and Kashmir, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan all have Muslims in them. Probably up here in Russia there's Muslims too. I mean, I don't know, I've never been there. But the bulk of Xinjiang province are Muslims. Now let's just change to satellite view quickly check the comments. Japan was the same way. We had to use GoPro cuffed in my hands to get footage. That doesn't surprise me. Oh, okay, right. Suddenly the borders are hard to see now. Maybe if I can zoom out. Can't see the borders anymore, which is awkward. Anyway, there's Kyrgyzstan, there's Tajikistan, there's Xinjiang, there's Mongolia. Where's Urumqi? I think there's Urumqi there. Urumqi is the capital. Now have a look at this. You got a great big desert here, and I think that is the Gobi Desert. I think that's the Gobi Desert. I'm not sure. If that's not the Gobi Desert, then maybe that's the Gobi Desert there. The Gobi Desert was featured in that movie, how was it? Flight of the Phoenix. I think it was come out, I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that. Flight of the Phoenix, about a bunch of oil drillers. They go out there, they're looking for oil, they can't find the oil, they pack up and leave, but they go across the Gobi Desert and their plane ends up crashing. And they crash in the middle of the desert and they got to repair the plane to fly out. Don't know if that was actually here, but anyway, let's go back. So Urumqi, that is the capital of Xinjiang province. Now the Urumqi people, they're known as the Uyghurs. It's difficult to pronounce. It's like, it's difficult to spell. It's like U-Y-G-H-E-R. It's not spelled the way it sounds. The Uyghur people. So the Uyghur people, they're really more Muslim than they are Chinese, because like most of China is like Han Chinese people. Han is the sub nationality, the sub ethnicity of Chinese people, or the Xinjiang people are Uyghurs, and the Uyghurs are they're more like Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. They're more like their surrounding Arab countries, because when you go here, you're basically setting foot in an Arab country, even though it's in China. They Muslims, they all got moustaches and beards. They wear the square Muslim hat. and there are security checkpoints everywhere. At least that's what I understand. I have a limited knowledge of this place because I haven't been there, but we are going to be going there. We'll be going there for approximately a week because we arrive in China, I think it's the 10th of May, and leaving China on the 24th of May. So in that 2-week period, we'll be spending 1 week in Xinjiang province. And then back to Shenzhen down here. We may go up to Guangzhou again. I do want to go to Guangzhou again. And yeah, and then back to Brisbane, and then back to Christchurch. So I'm going to be ending the stream in about 5 minutes now. I'm just going to quickly touch on some other areas in Asia. Sorry, in Asia that I'd like to go, and then the stream will be finishing. So thank you guys for popping in, and this is your last chance to interrupt me with any questions. South Korea, Mr. Fox. So you said you went up to the border, I think it was, to North Korea. So I would like to know, where the hell is it? So where along here did you go? I can see Kaohsiung, Yanggu, Chirewon, Yeoncheon, Gimpo, Paju. I'm sure I'm butchering these place names. I would like to go to South Korea, probably to go to Seoul. I want to go to Japan. I would like to go to Tokyo and Sendai, because Sendai there's a little special link between the Japanese people and us, especially Christchurch. I'll just rewind a little bit. Okay, so I live here, Christchurch, New Zealand. Now in March 2011 we had a major earthquake which killed like 180 people, and about 100 of those 180 were Japanese exchange students all in one building doing an English language study. So Japan sent a search and rescue team to Christchurch for the very purpose of doing search and rescue at the site of that that collapsed building. Unfortunately, I don't think they recovered anybody alive, but they had to try. 3 weeks after that, 3 weeks after our earthquake, and again I've made a video about this, it's called How an Earthquake United Our Countries, I think it's called. 3 weeks after that, the tectonic activity decided to continue going crazy, and there was the 2011 Sendai tsunami, which I'm sure you're very familiar with. You saw it on the news. We all saw the horrific video of the tsunami waves coming in and wiping out all of these little Japanese towns, like killed tens of thousands of people. I don't even know what the total fatality figure was, but you know, hit those Fukushima nuclear power plants, and you know, that's turned them into a bit of a no-go zone. So I'd like to go to Sendai. Like to go to Taiwan at some point. Philippines, not really interested in. I want to go to Singapore again. I've been to Singapore once. I'd like to go again, and the next time we go there I'll probably go up into Malaysia. Probably go to Kuala Lumpur. Indonesia, the rest of Indonesia, not really interested, to be honest. Heading over here to the Pacific Islands. I definitely want to go to Fiji, because Fiji, you don't need a visa to get into. If you're New Zealand, you don't need a visa if you're a Chinese. Kind of a double win there. I honestly can't say what part of the DMZ we were at because I didn't drive. I know we started in Seoul. If you take a DMZ border tour from Seoul, hey Ross, when did you arrive? It's possible to enter the conference room that straddles the DMZ. Oh, cool! That is really cool. I did not know that. And technically step a few meters inside North Korea? I didn't think that they sort of let you do that, because I know that the conference room has like a line in the middle. And I just wonder, do they let you step over that line into the other side of the room? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that they let you step over that line into the North Korea side of the room? I wonder. And yeah, so some other places I'd like to go. Now, just so you know, Ross, I have been going for like probably 45 minutes an hour. I'm going to be wrapping up in about 5 minutes. But if you wanted to rewind and watch the beginning of the stream, you could. Topics that I've covered in the stream, I've covered travelling around New Zealand, the road trip I just did, the road trip I plan to do this November, covered hip-hop culture and tattoos in China and why they've recently been banned. Talked about Australia, places I've been to in Australia, places that I've been to in China, Xinjiang in China, and now I'm finishing up the stream just by talking about places in Asia, other places in Asia that I want to go to. Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City. Not sure where in Vietnam, to be honest, I would like to go. Maybe Hanoi would be better just because it'll be a little bit cooler up there. That said, it will still be friggin' hot because I imagine all of Vietnam is friggin' hot. Thailand. I have a friend that lives in Bangkok. Her name is Nay. She's Thai. I hear people go up to Chiang Mai as well, but honestly, all of Thailand is hot. One of the things to see in Thailand, though, and that's Myanmar over there, is a set of islands called Koh Phi Phi Li. I'm not sure where they are exactly, but you will remember that movie came out, I think it was 2001, called The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio, and that was about the beach and the bunch of tourists that go to live there, and they find the marijuana there and they find the drug dealers there. Good drama. But that was filmed in Koh Phi Phi Li Beach in Thailand, and ever since that movie came out, honestly, I don't even know where the hell it is on the map. I could probably, maybe it'll come up with a search. Okay, maybe that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Phi Phi Islands, Koh Phi Phi Don. Pretty sure that's it. Zoom out. Where are we in relation to the rest of it? Okay, yeah, that's Thailand there, comes down there. Yeah, so that's Koh Phi Phi Li. That's the island where they filmed The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio. I'd like to go there, but they only let you go there on day trips, and they don't have like any facilities or amenities on the island because they don't want tourists going there and pitching tents and doing freedom camping and leaving rubbish behind. They don't want any of that crap. They wanted to keep it as clean as possible. So they only let you go there for a day trip, and that's it. You can't stay there overnight at all. That would be nice to go to. India. I do want to go to India at some point. Probably Mumbai? I don't know much about India though. I think up here in New Delhi, I think that's where the Taj Mahal is. Coco, my wife, she has been to Nepal. Main reason people go to Nepal is if they want to go and climb Mount Everest. That pretty much sums up the areas that I want to go to in Asia. Hence the name of my channel, Y2Jay Does Asia, because because I am married to a Chinese woman, I will be travelling in Asia. It'll just be a thing, and in particular it will be really centered in China. Pretty much every trip overseas is going to be to China, but there will be stopovers and detours in other areas. Like in 2016 we stopped over in Singapore and then went to China. This trip we considered going to Fiji and then China, but actually what we're pretty much going to do this trip is get into Shenzhen here, there's Shenzhen, and then fly up to Urumqi in Xinjiang, because that's quite a big flight in of itself. That's like 6 hours flight just to get up there into Xinjiang province. That pretty much sums it up. Just going to go into the comments here and then we're going to finish up. Let me just get back to the comments. Especially a neutral area. Yes, you can step over the line because when you're touring there, you're protected by South Korean troops. Cool. Inside that building, you aren't in north or south, it's neutral territory. Thailand food is awesome, I love it. I've heard that the Thailand food is a bit like, street food, like, how do you put it, like, get rid of that window. Make this window bigger. You know, I've heard that the Thailand street food is kind of like the old snakes and spiders and insects and all that kind of disgusting stuff. I've heard that that's what it's like. If that's the case, it'll be it'll be a bit of an adventure to actually have it. And right, some other random things before we wrap up. There is a big South Korean soldier with a black belt in Taekwondo standing in front of the door, just in case someone's dumb enough to try and escape into North Korea. Why would you want to escape into North Korea? I think it would be the reverse. I think the North Korean soldiers would be trying to escape into South Korea. But it is technically on the northern side of the North Korea-South Korea border. Yeah, I think that's kind of what you mean. God, I wish Calibri was here because I think she would be interested in this. So this tattoo, it's a Viking tattoo. How do you can't even really show it? It's because the webcam quality ain't that very good. That tattoo, got that in 2015. Hamish, hey Hamish. Nice to see you, Hamish. I'm actually about to wrap up. I'm just about to finish. I've been going for about an hour. You can watch it all in rewind if you want. I've covered travelling in New Zealand. I've covered trip to China that I'm going to be doing. Covered hip hop culture and rap music and tattoos in China. I'm just explaining to Nathan this tattoo. I got this in 2015. It's a Viking style tattoo. I went through several designs and what I realised is that for me, I just wanted something that was going to look good and that it was going to look good after a long period of time, because some tattoos you get, like with colour tattoos, the colour fades, and with like the black tribal tattoos, the edges get blurred. The ink basically degrades over time in any tattoo that you get. Let's enjoy it. Change the webcam again. The ink degrades in any tattoo you get, so I figured that this tattoo, which is a dot style tattoo, there we go, you know, it's a dot style of tattoo, that this is basically going to look the same in 50 years time. I mean, it'll be a bit faded and all the dots will be a bit blurred, but it'll still basically look the same. It'll still appear to be, you know, Nordic dragon, Nordic worm type of design. It'll just be faded and blurred, but it'll still look the same. That's why I went for that tattoo, and I may very well get more tattoos, maybe one on the other arm. If I do, it probably will not be until the day comes that I go to Europe, because I would like to go to Europe. I do have to definitely do a pilgrimage. Is this your first live stream? Yes, it is. Do I have plans to do more? Probably maybe one a month. Not too many. I'm not going to bombard you guys with live streams. It'll be on a weekend like it is now, you know, during an afternoon in New Zealand, so that way the Americans can watch it because it's late at night for them. I'll do more live streams probably, yeah, in the future. No more than one per month. I don't know how many. Yeah. Anyway, the tattoo, I may get more tattoos on my arms or other parts of my body, but it won't be until I probably go to Scotland or Norway or something, because you know, there's places I'd go, things I like to see, and Scotland is a real place that I have to get to at some point, because my last name is Innes. My mother's maiden name is Mac Innes. So both sides of my family came from kind of the north. I'll show you on the map. I have to change it again. Both sides of my family came from this upper area. When I say both sides of my family, I'm talking about like great grandparents and great grandparents came from this upper part here in Scotland. So here's Scotland. This is where I want to make my pilgrimage to one day. Where the hell is the border? There's a border somewhere between England and Scotland. I think it's somewhere in the middle there. I'm not quite sure where the border is. There it is. There's the border. Okay, this area up here, Inverness, Nairn, Feinhorn, Kloss, Elgin. This region here, between Inverness and Elgin, this is where, at least according to my last name, which is Innes, this is where the Innes clans of Scotland came from. So before I die, I have to come to this region one day, to go to Inverness, to go to Elgin, to come to that part of Scotland, to probably just for no real reason than just to say that, you know, I've been to where my ancestors came from. But that's a real big part of Maori culture here. You know, the Maoris are, you know, the brown people here, you know, the native people of New Zealand, assuming you don't count the Moriori, that's a whole different story. But you know, I mean, in Maori culture, it's a real big thing to know who you are and where you came from. And whilst it doesn't really make any difference to your daily life, it is kind of nice to have some idea of where you really did come from. So, you know, I want to go to Scotland. Also want to go to, you know, somewhere up here. I suppose it would be nice to go to Oslo in Norway, because that's where Capitan Bastos lives. And my one question to Hamish, let's see, will there be guests on your live stream? Oh yes. Don't forget to click the thumbs up, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, sure, there will be guests, but I'm quite new to the live streaming thing, so this is the very first time I've done it on YouTube. I have done gaming live streams before on the PlayStation. This is the first time I've done it on YouTube. And yeah, you know, we'll do some interactive stuff again in the future. Before I sign off, I really have to ask you, Hamish, because Coco was afraid that I was making fun of you, and I certainly hope I didn't do that. If I did make fun of you, I'm sorry, but that was not my intent. Well, maybe just a little tiny bit. I did a video called TSS Earnslaw Cruise. I took this boat in Queenstown, the TSS Earnslaw, and at the beginning of the video, I just kind of off the cuff said, I wish Hamish was here. And then I put you in the vlog. I put a picture of you in the vlog, and I had an audio clip of you saying, you know, am I in the vlog? And I say, yeah, you're in the vlog, Hamish. And then I had you pop up like 3-4 times in the video, really just to break the monotony, because what I was afraid of with that video, if you've seen it, is that I was afraid it was just going to be boring. Just kind of, you know, here I am on a steamship, you know, yay, it's a steamship. I thought it was going to be so friggin' boring, and I thought, how can I make it interesting and just show something that people aren't expecting to see? It's just a wee bit different. So I put you in that video, a picture of you, and kind of, you know, am I in the vlog? Yeah, you're in the vlog. And I got the audio clip from that time that we were in Hagley Park going to the that boring tree and garden show that we went to. And yeah. So you're in that vlog, so I'm interested to know, have you seen that? And yeah, I'll be wrapping up the stream shortly, because we've gone for quite a long time already. And then I'll have to figure out how to actually stop the stream. That's going to be awkward. Love it, put me in every vlog. Well, that's great. I didn't upset you. That's fantastic. Guess who also showed up here, Hamish, at the beginning of the vlog? Not the vlog, the beginning of the stream. Backpackerguide.nz showed up. That's Robin and Laura. I don't know if you've heard me mention them in videos and stuff before, but they showed up, which was cool. And yeah, they couldn't stay long, but yeah, they actually watched for a little bit. Right, I'm going to be ending the stream now. I'm actually searching for how the hell you actually stop the stream. So at any moment now, the stream's going to be stopping. So thank you guys for coming. If you have any more questions about anything, this is your absolute last chance, because the stream will be ending in any moment now as soon as I find the stop button. Thank you guys for coming. I'm now searching for the stop button. I'm using, what the hell is this thing called? XSplit. And I got to figure out how the hell do you actually stop the stream. If someone can tell me how to stop the stream, that would be cool. Is it under extensions, tools, outputs? Yep,